Hi everyone. This is actually the second time I'm recording this. The first time I recorded it, I didn't feel like it came off as genuine, but it felt kind of forced, so I just decided to scrap it and start over from the beginning. Today, I am going to be showing you how I draw hands. I feel like every artist at one point was that person that whenever they drew a character, they would hide the hands behind their back, so they were constantly standing like this. I have no idea if I'm in frame. Every artist goes through that. Now, drawing hands is very intimidating because when you look at it, looking at my own hand for reference, there's a lot of curves, a lot of creases, a lot of, there's a lot of things going on. You got different, 5 different appendages, going in every which way in motion. But if you break it down to basic shapes, then it becomes easier. Now, when it comes to drawing anatomy in general, or any type of drawing, a lot of people use a method or technique. I don't know if it's officially called this, but they use a lot of circles and lines. I personally despise that method because I looked at it and I'm like, how am I ever gonna draw that? I don't know what these lines or dots mean. Now, I will say this, if you like that method, I'm not coming after that method saying it's not a good method or it's not a great method. I'm saying it didn't work for me. And I'm sure if it didn't work for me, there are other artists out there who also struggled with that method. I just thought I'd mention that. And the method that I prefer, that I encourage you to try, is using basic shapes. I'm going to show you the front of the hand as well as the back of the hand using a photo of my hands. So the basic shape for the palm is kind of like a square, but it's more curved on the edges. So like an organic shape of a square. That's the same shape for whenever you draw like the back of the hand. And now the next step is fingers. So finger shapes are quite generic. So like little arches going up and connecting to the base of the top of the palm. Now for the front of the hand, you have an extra detail called knuckles. The knuckles, I usually do either rectangles or circles. Circles are typically quicker to draw, so I kind of do little circles on where each of the knuckles need to be. So that's the shape for the fingers, front of the hand. So for the back of the hand, the additional details are the thumb muscles. It's this muscle right here, and then on the top of the palm, there's another muscle right here. It kind of looks like a slug, and it's just resting right here on the top of your palm. Last detail for the back of the hand are the fingertips. Now, I also do this for the back of the hand because whenever you draw fingertips, they pop out on the back of the hand because that's, that's where you're touching. So it helps to draw them out. So comparing to the method I mentioned earlier using circles and lines, it already looks a lot more simpler. The next thing I want to show you guys is hand types. So if you notice, everyone's hands looks different. I like to categorize them into 3 separate categories. Now, why do I mention that? Well, because if you're looking for a specific hand shape or a specific hand type, you'd think, well, does this technique help with that? How do I draw stronger hands? What if I want to just draw delicate hands? What if I want to draw both? What if, I have a preference? Will this technique help? And the answer to that is yes. You just add a few simple details and you could easily convert, the base that I showed you guys into a stronger hand or a delicate hand. Now knowing that, how do I turn this base into a stronger hand or a delicate hand? I'm going to show you. So for drawing the differences, they're actually quite simple, just a few details here and there, and it makes a world of difference. For stronger hands, the tips of the fingers, instead of being more arch-shaped, are more rectangular shaped. And stronger hands typically have protruding knuckles, so their knuckles stand out more and they're very box-like. As well as when it comes to stronger hands, the front of the hand typically has more veins popping out, as well as more of the tendons. Now, for delicate hands, it's quite the opposite. So the tips of the delicate hands are more rounder for the fingers. The knuckles are slightly hidden for delicate hands, so the knuckles aren't as protruding as it is in the stronger hands, but sometimes they are, and if they are protruding out, they're more round shaped than they are rectangular. And there are typically no veins showing on delicate hands in the front of the hand. When it comes to tendons, every now and then it shows, and then in the back of the hand, they're quite similar for both. The tips of the fingers make them stand out as which hand it is. There you go, simple as that. So I'm not just going to tell you what shapes I use when I draw hands, I'm going to show you how I use them on actual photo references. I picked out 4 different photo references and I kind of leveled them out on difficulty, 1 being the least difficult to draw and 4 being the most difficult. So I'm going to show you those images on how they range here. And those images are the ones I'm going to draw. So I'm going to show you how I draw them. So I'm starting off with the first image. As you see, I start out with the palm first, and then I go to the fingers, and then I go to the fingertips, and then I go to the actual details of the full sketch using the reference. So again here, palm first, fingers, fingertips, and then I go back adding the details like the knuckles and such. So this process you can use, obviously, as you can see, you can use for any hand. It makes the process so much easier just drawing the palm first and then focusing on the details after. So now I'm just cleaning up the line art, and I thought you guys would like to see this step as well. That is how you draw hands. My friend, is my full-length tutorial on how you draw hands. Please feel free to tweak it and adjust it to make it easier for you or to just suit your personal art style a lot better. I don't mind. It's, if anything, it's a free grabs. Grab it, use it, please. I believe that one day artists will look at hands and just be like, you're not that scary. You don't intimidate me. You're not that scary. I hope one day artists can do that. As long as it's easier for you is what matters the most. So please feel free, use it, adjust it, convert it, anything, please. That's it for this week's video. If you found this helpful in any way, please be sure to leave a like and comment down below what tip actually helped you out, you know? I'm curious to what, if anything, I said helped you. And with that, I'll see you guys next week. Bye!